Welcome back everyone to more from the Sableyes. I'm Mitch, and today we're going to talk about a deck that's performing very well on the tournament circuit at the moment, and that is Blissey V. A very powerful Pokemon, but the most important thing is that it is super cheap to build on Pokemon TCG Live. If you are looking for an ultra competitive deck that you can take into the standard ladder just about straight away, then Blissey V is the deck for you. Let's talk about the card first. It is a 250 HP basic colorless Pokemon that has a very powerful attack that can expand its damage really quickly. Blissful Blast for 1 colorless energy does 10 damage. Doesn't seem like that much at first glance, but we have to read the text to really get the benefit of this particular attack. It does 30 more damage for every energy attached to this Pokemon. Now, with a powerful colorless energy, this can deal 60 damage. 10 plus the 30 for having 1 energy, plus 20 from the powerful colorless. That can knock out Sobbles, it can knock out other basics, it's very good. But the next part of the attack, that's the thing that really makes it the best possible starter card on Pokemon TCG Live. If you did any damage with this attack, you can attach up to 3, that's right, up to 3 energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. You will notice that it didn't say basic energy, it is any energy you like, and that's where the power from Blissey really comes in, because we play a whole bunch of different special energies like double turbo energy, lucky energy, we have powerful colorless energy as I mentioned before, and also capture energy, and this means that really early on we can have a Blissey that is attacking for a huge amount of damage and possibly even one-shotting Pokemon V-Star and V-Max. The really important card though that comes in with this set and makes Blissey very powerful is Lucky Energy. It's a card that not many people have been playing up to this point, but it is very powerful. Now, lets you draw a card when you get attacked for every lucky energy that's attached. That means you can potentially draw up to 4 cards, right? Draw up to 4 cards after every attack into your Blissey. Very strong. The only thing that we really need to do is keep our Blisseys alive. We're going to try and do that by using Cape of Toughness, which gives basic Pokemon that have this card attached an extra 50 HP, bringing our Blissey to a round 300. Round, you get it because he's an egg. It's a funny joke. We also have some healing cards in the deck to try and make the most of that high HP. Cheren's Care is obviously a very good supporter card that can heal all of the damage off of our Blissey, pick it up, return it to our hand, and get attacking with a fresh one. We also have Hyper Potion, which means that we have to discard 2 energy, but that's not that big of a deal because we can simply accelerate them again when we attack. We have Team Yell Towel, which is very good at getting a small amount of damage off, because we don't necessarily mind about the 50 that our opponent will heal. We also have Switch Cart, because all of the Pokemon in our deck are basics. That provides that extra little bit of healing as well. Some really good healing cards here, but that's not all. We can also disrupt our opponent with cards like Avery, which allows us to draw 3 cards and force our opponent to discard cards from their bench until they only have 3 Pokemon. That's very good. We have 4 copies of Path to the Peak because we don't really mind about our abilities being turned off, but lots of other decks in the format do. And we also have a very frustrating basic in Miltank that lots of Pokemon just cannot knock out. Miracle Body is a fantastic ability that prevents all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from our opponent's Pokemon V. It means it is invincible against cards like Palkia, against cards like other Blissey, against things like, I don't know, Giratina, unless it uses its V-Star power, I suppose. Cheren, there's a whole bunch of different V Pokemon in the format that Miltank simply walls, and then Route will eventually take knockouts, 2 colorless energy, 10 damage, plus 20 more for each of your opponent's benched Pokemon. Really good card, a really good deck. This one here is super easy to put together. If we just scroll down here to our basic Blissey V deck, you'll see that most of the cards that we are playing in this list are pretty much the exact same as the ones you get given for free when you boot up PTCG Live for the very first time. You actually get all of your Blisseys for free when you download the game. So all that you'll need to pick up are cards like Miltank and a couple of other commons, uncommons, and maybe 1 or 2 rares, not too many more, and then you'll be able to head into the standard ladder with what can only be described as one of the best decks in the standard format right now. Time to get started, and we have ourselves a Miltank in the active. We can put a Cape of Toughness on this thing and attach a DTE and be ready to go. It's not a great turn, doesn't appear to be a very good turn, but it has all of the things that we need to be successful. Now, last video I was too big, I was like this big. But now, with the magic of editing, I can make myself a reasonable size. And this looks reasonable? I mean, it might be reasonable. I'm not sure. I don't know. It could be. Just whilst my opponent's playing out their turn, I'm just going to make myself a smidgen better. Also, now you'll really be able to see the difference in the camera, right? Like, if I was to use my old camera right now, I mean, you can look at all the blemishes on my face that you can see. It's incredible. It's incredible. We are up against Arceus Inteleon, another deck that you can pretty much play for free on PTCG Live. Let's jump in here, and a top deck of a Blissey is really quite nice. I like this. We'll play this down. I think the best thing for us to do is just to Avery, and I think we've been given a really interesting choice. We could capture energy onto the Blissey, or we could attach lucky energy to either of these Pokemon, really. I think I like the idea of attaching the lucky energy to the Miltank. Means that we can retreat if we need to, and we can also attack later in the game. Plus, if they do attack into this Miltank, we will get an extra card. The issue is we don't take a knockout on this Sobble just yet because our opponent only has 3 Pokemon on the bench. That's 2, 4, 6, plus 10 is 7, minus 20 from the double turbo. It's not good. We whiff the knockout on the little Sobble, but that's okay. We can get it next turn. So yeah, this is going to be a long game. I can tell you that right now. Up against Arceus Inteleon, we are going to have a bit of a grind, but that's what Blissey is capable of doing. It can come out of the blocks, can hit relatively hard, but it's very, very difficult to knock out. And since we're playing up against Arceus, I'm relatively confident that we'll be able to take enough knockouts to win this game. It's not going to happen quickly, but we will eventually get there. Looks like our opponent's gone for a keep calling. And thank you very much to Jordan, who's elected to play this game against me today, playing his Arceus Inteleon deck. We've got a powerful colorless energy off of that research, which I really, really like. And I think that the best thing for us to do here, rather than attacking with this Miltank, is just to retreat, put that double turbo energy into the discard pile, and then Blissful Blast. We'll do 60 damage, knock out the Sobble, but more importantly, we'll be able to put 3 energy cards onto our Blissey. That's going to add, what, 3, 6, 12, minus 20, an extra 100 damage, which is very, very nice going forward. We've got a capture energy in our hand as well. We can attach that to Blissey if we want. We've got Cheren's or Hyper Potion, so again, if we need to, we can very, very easily heal off any damage that our opponent deals this turn. I'm liking our chances of having a good game here, but the key is going to be, can we maintain the amount of damage that we're doing? If our opponent takes a knockout on this Blissey, there will be a little bit of a lull. We won't be able to get an attacker super, super quickly. So we'll wait and see. I like our spot though. If our opponent can't get an Arceus V-Star, then we are living the dream. They've got a power edge here, then we can Hyper Potion, we can heal off pretty much all of that damage, and then get cracking. And to be honest, I really, really like our chances if that happens. If they go for the power edge, we'll see. But our hand's pretty good here. We've got a Marnie, we've got ourselves a boss. If we need to boss, we can do that. We've got energy as well, which is fantastic. We've got pretty much all of the things that we need to make a successful turn here. Looks like a couple of big charm going down onto our opponent. It's okay, and the power edge. Alright, so we can Hyper Potion here and heal most of that damage off, and we've managed to top deck into the Cape of Toughness as well. That is super, super nice. We can discard the double turbo to fulfill the Hyper Potion's cost, and now the question is, where do we attach? I think the active is perfectly fine. We can grab ourselves a Greninja here, and then if we want to, we can Marnie. I think that's also fine. Just give ourselves a few more cards to work with. Maybe an energy or 2. There's 1. That's fantastic. We can play down the path and then Blissful Blast. We've got an energy for next turn. and we can attach this DTE. To be brutally honest, what we probably should have done is we probably should have used Greninja to discard the Lucky Energy and then play the path. That probably would have been better, not because the damage is going to make too much of a difference, because we won't necessarily be too worried about that, but more, we would like to see as many cards as possible. If we can, that would be great. At the moment, though, relatively happy with the position that we're in. We don't need to worry too much, because we should be able to get a knockout next turn. We're currently dealing 150 plus an extra 60 minus 20 is 40, 190, which will take a knockout on this Arceus quite comfortably. The big one for me, though, is I think we'd really like to see some healing. If we can heal a little bit off of this Blissey, I think we're in a really, really good spot. Let's see what we get off of this top deck. A double turbo. Let's just research that hand away. Hyper Potion I like quite a lot. We've got another Cape. If we want it, we can put that on a second Blissey. We can't use the Radiant Greninja because the path's in play. My own path's in play. We can Hyper Potion though, heal that damage and go down to 90, and then maybe it might just be as simple as playing down another Blissey, playing down that Cape of Toughness, and then possibly attaching... I don't think we need to. We could... Oh, yeah, we can. We should. We need to take this knockout, right? We should take this knockout. We don't want another basic Pokemon, but we do need a knockout. 180 damage. That will take a KO on the Arceus, which is great. We can get extra energies here. We're going to have a ton of energies on our Blissey. I don't know whether we're going to have enough to take a knockout on an Arceus V-Star, but we should be in a good enough position to try and get ourselves over the line in this game. Plus, we also have Zinnia's Resolve in our hand. We have Avery. We've got a bunch of different cards to help us in this matchup. All right, let's count the damage that we're doing. We've got, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 energy on us at the moment. 8 energy minus 40. Right, so 8 times 3. Oh, my goodness. Maths is hard. 8 times 3 is 240. Minus 40 from the DTE plus 20 from the powerful colors is 220 plus 10, 230. So at the moment we are 1 energy away, but once this Arceus evolves, we will find it a little bit more difficult. Okay, so we probably can't knock this Arceus V-Star out. Now we definitely, well, I mean, we might draw into some good cards. We definitely aren't going to have a great time here. We've got Avery and a Quick Ball, though, which I like. I like that quite a bit. Gives us a draw supporter for this turn. It looks like our opponent now going for the Starbirth. So they'll be able to use this V-Star power once to search their deck for up to 2 cards, pop them into their hand, and then prepare themselves for next turn. I think that's pretty good. And this Arceus is very tanky at the moment. We've got the Gardevoir V, not the Gardevoir V, the Radiant Gardevoir on the bench, which will reduce the amount of damage that we're dealing by 20. And then a Lake Acuity as well, which means that, again, that damage will be further reduced. So very, very difficult for us to one-shot here. Means we're going to need to probably Blissful Blast for a half hit and hope that our opponent doesn't have Cheren, which is unlikely considering the fact that they just used Starbirth, and they'll probably have the cards that they need next turn. So we'll wait and see. The best part for us is that they didn't take a knockout. So I'm happy with that. Really like to see a potion of some description here. We are going to draw an extra card thanks to our Lucky Energy and a Zinnia's Resolve. Okay, so that's going to help us draw some cards and a Quick Ball. Alright, so we can thin here. We can get rid of this Avery and grab ourselves a Pokemon that we don't really care about, this Miltank. In fact, we can probably just grab that other Blissey and just discard that as well. We'll grab that out and then we should be able... Oh, Zinnia's discard 2 cards. Oh, I thought it was discard them afterwards. Oh, well, I guess we just have to Blissful Blast and hope for the best. Now, we've put ourselves in a bad position. It will get worse. If our opponent elects to use Cheren this turn, then we are in big, big trouble. And they almost definitely have it in their hand because of that Starbirth. Oh, man, that's disappointing. There's the Cheren. Okay. Turns out you actually have to play Pokemon cards. You can't just click all the highlighted ones and thin stuff out. You actually have to read the cards and know what they do. Alrighty then. Well, let's recenter. We will find ourselves another route to victory. We are still several prizes in front, so even losing this prize here, we are still in a position we can afford to wait a little bit. Might be Miltank's turn to start attacking, although the double turbo energy is quite nice. I like that. I like that a lot. I would like Blissey to start getting some energy on it. So let's chuck that into the active now that we know that we've at least got an energy card. Powerful colorless is even better. So we'll play that down. We could potentially just attack here. Blissful Blast will just do 20. I kind of want to just hold this hand and accelerate some energy. So let's just pop on as many energies as we can. We'll go for the 2 powerful, the extra lucky, and the DTE. I think those are the best ones here. Then next turn we've got DTE to attach, and we've got Zinnias to play. We may need this extra Blissey though, so it is worth noting that it's not guaranteed by any stretch. We might have to attack with this second Blissey in our hand. So there's the Trinity Nova. They're just half hitting. If we can find ourselves a Hyper Potion, maybe some healing, that would be great. Avery seems like a pretty good card to actually get here. And another Lucky Energy. Okay, so maybe it's time for Zinnia now. We will throw away the Avery and the Lucky Energy. I want to attach that double turbo, and we've found the Hyper Potion, which I really like. We can Hyper Potion away 120 damage, get rid of the DTE, we can attach a DTE, we can throw down a Path to the Peak, and then we can attack for 180. Now, our opponent only has 23 cards left. They didn't attach that many energy last turn. So we may be in a position here where if we knock this Arceus out, we can actually put ourselves in a spot to try and win this game. Our biggest issue is the fact that we're actually running out of cards ourselves. So we will we'll wait and see whether or not we can actually get this game back in our favor. That one play where we made that mistake, well, the stupid error of putting down the Zinnia, of stopping ourselves from being able to play Zinnia, has cost us a little bit. But that's okay. We are still in a really strong spot. This Blissey is not getting knocked out this turn. We're dealing, what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 23, 25, 26, 22, 20, 200 damage. This is a lot of numbers that I need to add there. That can't be right. It can't be 200. It's got to be more than that. Anyway, it doesn't matter now. The Cheren's has happened. This Arceus is continually healing itself. Now we're in a very, very awkward spot. So the Arceus V-Star in the active, we just can't knock out. I don't think. At least we have Boss, so if the second Arceus V comes down, we might have ourselves a chance. There is the Arceus, so maybe we could win this game by like bossing out an Arceus and knocking out a basic. Maybe that Sobble could potentially be the way forward. I'm not entirely sure whether or not we're going to have the juice to do it, but we'll try. We'll do our very, very best. How long have we been going on for here? We've been going for a while. Oh my goodness. We're playing this game for a very long time. Okay. Blissey takes 180 damage. 240 on the Blissey. We are currently drawing 2 cards from our lucky energies. We've got Marnie and Double Turbo. So Double Turbo could be a very, very useful card. We're dealing 250. Alright, so 250 is good. It's not great. I think we probably bench this Blissey at some point. Yeah, we'll do it now. We're going to attach the DTE there. We're going to play the boss, and we are going to target down these benched Pokemon as much as possible. Put the Cape there. We'll do 290 damage to this Arceus. Pretty solid. And then, what maths was I doing before? I said 200. That was like 310. Oh, well, back to not being able to do maths. Lucky Pokemon TCG Live does the maths for you, because I can't do it. It's just really, really bad. I'm just catching myself every now and then over in the corner. This is a higher quality camera now, right? Like, you are seeing me in higher definition. Like, if I make myself here, just a second. That's higher quality, right? That's higher quality. It has to be. I just do a couple of faces for the old thumbnail. Actually, what should I do? We'll do a Blissey one. We'll be like, oh my god, it's so tanky. Was that good? Anyway, I've disappeared. I can't remember how big I was. That seems fine. It has to be a higher camera quality. That looks way better. The Blissey is dead. Okay, so we draw 3 cards off of this turn. Lucky Energy twice, and then a top deck. If we have an Energy, we win the game. We'll put the Miltank in the active, because if we have an Energy, we win. If we don't, we whiff. Okay, so we whiff. We probably never attack with Blissey again, apart from the one that's in the field of play. So we can probably discard that with Quick Ball. Do we have an Energy? We do. We have Powerful Colorless. Okay. So there's a couple of cards that are useful to us here. We've got a couple of switches still, so we can probably afford, actually. We can probably afford to just go into Blissey and attack. We won't take a knockout, but we're not getting knocked out ourselves, and there's no way that our opponent can ever put themselves in a position where they like gust twice to win, unless they play like the Cologne. I think we probably just go for Zinnia. How many cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's actually really bad, because if... Oh, man. Okay, what am I going to do here? We've not got much time. We'll switch cart. We're going to go into the Blissey. We are going to... We're just going to attack. We're just going to attack. We're going to put the Lucky Energy and the Powerful Colorless on. Because this way, we give ourselves the best chance to draw into a boss if we get, like, Marnied or Roxanne, right? Because, like, our hand isn't great, but it has the game-winning card in it. Because at the moment, if we play Boss's Orders onto the Sobble, we will win the game. If they, like, Roxanne us, which they could because they have Inteleon... And Roxanne us again, potentially. Did they already Roxanne us once? I feel like they did. If they Roxanne us again here, then we'll be in a spot where we probably need to get lucky. We'll be able to draw 3 cards, though, right? Like, so I've got 11 cards in the deck. We'll draw 2 from the Roxanne, and then 2 from the Lucky Energy, and then 1 from the top deck. We're going to get 5 out of 11 cards if that Roxanne does come down. If it's a Marnie, even better. We probably guarantee... Oh, actually, no, because the boss is always 100% going to be on the bottom of the deck, right? Okay, so I actually think that Roxanne is better for us here. I think we've got a better chance of winning if we get Roxanne, and we will. Okay, so now, let's see our hand. Do we just have the boss for game? We don't, but we have a lot of healing. So we can probably mitigate every piece of damage that's dealt here. We're going to heal 170 this turn regardless. But let's see if we can just draw into it. Let's see if we can just draw into the boss. If we get the boss, we win the game. We're going to draw 2 cards for the Lucky Energies. We've got Scoop Up Net, and we have Powerful Color. So we can scoop up the... we can use the Greninja here. Or we could just top into the boss. That seems like a pretty solid place to be. Well, Boss's Orders out the Drizzile, and we will Blissful Blast 210 damage. You can see just how tanky this deck is. Now, I mean, I'm not going to play another game with it because it is so difficult to get games with this deck that are less than 20 minutes long. But if you're willing to fight it out, then you're going to win more games than you don't. And to be brutally honest, putting a Miltank down against lots of people on the ladder will just result in instant wins, so definitely worth taking a look. I'm very happy with that one, and you will be too when you download Pokemon TCG Live and instantly get yourself access to a top tier deck. Thank you very much everyone for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Liking the video would also be very helpful, and if you do want to generously contribute like these people over here, then you might consider becoming a channel member. It's as low as $3 Australian a month, which is, you know, it's not that much, but it's enough to keep the lights on, which I appreciate. Thank you very much for watching, as I mentioned, and if you want to jump in with another really easy deck to build, then this Zoroark V-Star list is actually super good, and it is free on the standard ladder right now. You can get it on the Battle Pass for free. Super, super good. Definitely worth checking out. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you next time for more from the Sableyes. Bye. What a camera.